morning everyone. In the last class we are trying to discuss Spring with the Hibernate here. Like how we can communicate with the Hibernate we identified with the XML configuration as well as the annotation configuration we identified. So today we are going to discuss one of the important concepts here, Spring transaction. So not only the Spring transaction, so we did not discuss the Hibernate transaction here. So we are going to discuss the both transactions. Okay, observe here. Now what we are going to do, so we need to focus on the, like in the real-time application, so where exactly this particular transaction is going to work. Getting the point. So basically this transaction is going to provide the several operation into the single unit of work here. So what kind of the several operations we are going to work here. Getting the point. So now, so we need to focus here, the several operation once it is converted into the single unit of work here, the single unit of work, so which is going to perform successfully or so which is failing with kind of any exception here. So that we need to check here. So if it is performing successfully, so whatever the data we are trying to perform as a single unit of work, the data is going to store into the database here. But in sometimes what happens here, so we may get any exception here. Whenever we are trying to get any exception, the data is going to roll back here. Okay, so we need to understand here like how the data is going to roll back and how this particular the group of operations are going to converted into the single unit of operations here. Right. So first we need to understand here simple example here. The simple example here. So I'm having one saving account and so one I'm having one checking account. We can work with the current account. So this is my saving account and so this is my current account. Getting the point. So using this particular two accounts here, what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to transfer some amount here. So something here, I want to transfer some 1,000 rupees. Getting the point. From saving account to current account. Getting the point. So observe carefully here. Basically, so this is the one of the real-time application we are discussing here. And here, and we are going to work on the money transfer expenses. Okay. But here what happens internally? While transferring the amount here, we are using the transaction here. So you can see the Spring transaction we are involving here. Whenever we are trying to transferring this 1,000 rupees into the saving from the saving account into this particular current account here. Right. Now what happens here? So basically here it's going to perform the two operations here. So what are the two operations it's going to perform? First, this particular 1,000 rupees it needs to debit from the saving account. Getting the point. And the same 1,000 rupees it needs to add it into our current account here. Getting the point. So carefully observe here. Sometimes what happens here. So this particular 1,000 rupees is debited from the saving account, but the same 1,000 is not added into the current account. It is not added into the current account here. So what happens internally? Getting the point. But here, if we observe, so who is using this particular saving account? The particular person is losing 1,000 rupees here. But who is getting advantages here? The bank people, they are getting advantages because so they are getting the 1,000 rupees, but they are not adding into the current account here. Carefully observe here, the amount is debited from the saving account. The same amount is not added into the current account here. But where this particular amount gone? Once this particular amount is debited, so this particular amount is goes to the bank people. From the bank people, the amount needs to add it into the current account here. So this particular adding operation is not involved in this. Okay. So carefully observe in the business perspective, we need to understand very carefully here. So who is getting the advantages here? The bank people getting advantages here. As a user, so we are losing this particular 1,000 rupees. So now another operation here. So if you observe carefully, same here. One more time I am trying to transfer the same 1,000 rupees into the current account. So in this case, what happens in this case? This particular 1,000 is not debited from the saving account. This particular 1,000 is not debited from the saving account. But the current account, so 1,000 rupees added here. Current account, the 1,000 rupees added here. So if you observe carefully, here the amount is not debited here. So whatever the amount we are having in the saving account, same amount we are having here. And in the current account, additionally, we are getting 1,000 rupees. Cutting the point. Additionally, we are getting 1,000 rupees here. But here, who is losing here? The bank people losing the amount here. As a user, we are getting an advantage here. Because without debiting this particular amount, we are getting an additional 1,000 rupees. But the other case, even though the amount is debited from the saving account, the same amount is not credited into the current account. So these are the two drawbacks we are having. So one side, as a bank people, they are losing the amount. So another side, as a user, we are losing the amount here. Getting the point. So this is very important. We need to understand here. So to resolve these kind of problems, what we need to do? Getting the point. Using this particular Spring transaction, we are going to handle this kind of situation here. Okay. Now we understand the one real-time application example here, and so we need to focus on the one more example here. Getting the point. So what is the one more example we need to focus here? Okay. Now, so let me clear this particular screen. Okay, back to here. So basically, so this is the one more example I'm trying to work here. And now you can understand here, we're trying to book a seat here. So we're trying to book a movie ticket here. Getting the point. So here we are having movie ticket here. Right. So some of the movie tickets we are having here. So we need to work on we need to book this particular movie ticket here. So basically, what happens internally? So while booking this particular movie tickets here, so what kind of business we are going to lose here? So using this particular Spring Security, how we can handle these kind of problems here. Okay. So now we need to understand here. So this is the one of the website here. So it is an online website to book a movie ticket here. So movie ticket, or you can work with any airlines ticket, or you can work with any rail ticket, or you can work with any bus ticket here. So these are the same functionality which is going to involve here. So first what we need to do? Getting the point. So whenever we are trying to purchase a ticket here, so which is going to involve some actions here. Getting the point. So what kind of this particular actions are going to involve here? Getting the point. Now we need to focus here. So we need to focus here how many seats we are having here. Getting the point. So first we need to check how many seats are available here. And the second one, how many number of seats we require. Getting the point. And third one, so we are going to make the payment. Once the payment is done, we'll receive the tickets here. Getting the point. So carefully observe here, first what we need to do, how many seats are available first to purchase the particular tickets here. Later, based on this particular seats availability, so how many tickets we require here. And after required to identify the ticket information, what we are doing is, we are going to book the ticket. Once the booking is confirmed, we'll make the payment. Once the payment is confirmed, we are going to receive the ticket information. Okay. So now, sometimes what happens here, whenever we are making the payment here with the credit card here, so the credit card limit reached here. Getting the point? So if I'm going to reach this particular credit card limit here, now what happens is, so we'll be able to receive the particular ticket information. So we are not going to receive the ticket here. And here, so here, like whether it is a airline ticket or whether it is a movie ticket, so the organizer will lose the payment here, and they will not receive the payment here. So once they will not receive the payment here, so they cannot reset, they cannot be release the ticket here. But sometimes what happens here, so I want to provide here the information. Observe carefully. I'm trying to book 2 tickets here. Getting the point? So I'm trying to book 2 tickets here. So I like identify the seat here. I moved into the payment gateway. So now you can see this is our payment gateway. So here I'm trying to enter my credit card information. Getting the point? Here I'm trying to enter my credit card information. So what happens internally? So whenever I'm trying to provide the credit card information, the credit card here, so we reach the limit of the credit card here. Getting the point? So we reach the credit card information here. The limit we reached here. Now what happens internally? So basically, whenever we reach this particular limit here, so we cannot make the payment here. So this particular payment is not done. Basically, if the payment is not done, as a organizer, so who is running this kind of application here, so they cannot receive the payment here. Getting the point? So once they cannot receive the payment here, so they will not release the ticket here. But now observe the drawbacks here. So even though the user cannot make the payment here, so what we need to do? So as this particular application, it needs to back to the initial stage here. If it is not backing into the initial stage here, what happens here? So these 2 tickets are still, which we are going to show as a completed. So we cannot make this, these 2 seats are available here. Because of this particular user problem, so careful observe here, because of this particular user problem here, now what we are losing here? We are losing the business here. As this particular organization, they are not able to receive the payment, and if they are unable to receive the payment, they cannot release the ticket. They cannot release the ticket here. But now the drawback here, if the payment is not made, what we need to do? So we need to reset this particular seat here. If you are not resetting this particular seat here, who is going to lose the business here? So who is running this particular application? So those people, they are going to lose this particular business here, because still these 2 tickets completed we are going to see. The status we are going to see as a completed here. But now, if the 2 tickets are completed, we need to get an amount here. Without getting an amount, how we are going to make this particular 2 seats? 2 seats are completed here. Getting the point. So this is very important here. Sometimes what happens here, so we can see, so this one kind of exceptions we are going to get as a end user side while making the payment, or while trying to make the payment, or while trying to book the seat. Getting the point. So we are going to have different kind of exceptions we are going to get. But even though if I'm going to get an exception, so wherever we are having the initial stage, we need to come back to the initial stage only. So we are not coming back to the initial state here. What happens internally? So we are going to lose this particular business here. But using this particular spring transaction here, we are going to achieve this kind of problems here. Getting the point. So now we are understanding here. So how exactly the spring transactions are going to work here. Basically here, as a user, we are going to lose the tickets here, and as a end user or as a organization, so they are going to lose their business here. Either like we are going to have the 50-50 chances here. Right now, so we don't want to make this kind of so loose concept here. We need to make everything as a successful here. Now you can understand here. So these are the operations. First we need to understand this. Verifying the seat and booking the seat and making the payment and releasing the seat. So now you can see we are having four types of operations here. Getting the point? We are having four types of operations here. So these kind of four types of operations, the Spring transaction is going to convert it into the single unit of work here. This kind of unit of work, whether it is successful or failure, what happens internally? The transaction, if it is a successful, so which is going to store the data into the permanent location. So that is we are going to call as a database. But sometimes if we get any exception, we'll roll back the particular transaction information. And once the transaction is going to roll back and wherever we are having, so we'll go back to the initial stage here. Getting the point. Now we understand here how exactly the group of operations are going to convert it here. So observe here. So if I'm going to provide, so the diagrammatic here, so we are going to have more understanding here. So here I want to provide here how exactly we are going to work here. So verify seat and so reserve seat here. Third one, what we need to do. So receive payment and fourth one, issue ticket. Getting the point. So these are the four operations we are going to perform. And here, what we are going to do, from here we are going to purchase the ticket. Getting the point. From here, we are trying to purchasing ticket. Getting the point. And now, so here we need to check here, everything goes well. Or if anything failed here. If everything goes successful, so here we need to define here we are going to work with the transaction commit. Getting the point, transaction committed. But something goes wrong. Getting the point. Something goes wrong. What happens internally? So we need to roll back the particular transaction. Transaction rollback. Getting the point. So this is very important here. Now, with the diagrammatic, we are understanding here how exactly so this particular application, like any purchase and ticket application, is going to work internally. And in this case, where exactly the Spring transactions is going to work. Getting the point. So by seeing this particular diagram, we can easily understand here So what kind of the operations we are going to perform, and if everything goes successful, how the data is going to save here, and if everything goes wrong, how the data is going to roll back here. Getting the point. So basically, so this particular transaction, which is going to play very important role in the software industry. Basically, any application has any banking application or any e-commerce application. So we are going to work on this particular transaction here. Getting the point. Now, so we need to focus on the, basically the transaction is going to work with the 4 words here, or we can call it as a 4 components here. And what are the components? Based on this particular 4 components, the transaction is going to play very important role here. So we need to understand here how exactly this particular transaction is going to work. So let me clear this particular screen. Observe carefully. So here we need to understand what exactly the component we are having. So we are having 4 components. So the component we are going to call as the shortcut name ACID. So these are the 4 words ACID. But each letter or each character we are going to have one component here. So observe here. So based on this particular A character, we are going to have one component called atomic. Getting the point. So we need to understand here how exactly this particular atomic is going to work. So this is one of the components, so which is involved inside this particular string transaction. Getting the point. So what exactly this particular component is going to work internally. Getting the point. So basically the transactions are going to made up with one or more activities. So just now we understand here. So the transaction is going to perform different kind of operations. So we understand here whenever we are trying to purchase a movie ticket here, so we are having 4 types of principles here. Sorry, 4 types of operations here. So let me check. I received the one message here. No, actually it is not the software development here. So this is the transaction related information. The transaction is going to work on this particular 4 component here. But in the software development, transaction is going to play very important role. So that is we can. Okay, back to here. So atomic. So basically, what exactly this particular atomic is going to perform. And now we understand here the transaction is going to made up with more than one activity. More than one activity is nothing but more than one operations here. So the operations are going to convert it into the single unit of work here. So which is going to convert here? This particular atomic component which is going to convert. So how many operations we are having? All the operations into the single unit of work here. Getting the point. So if all the activities are successful, the transaction is success. Getting the point. All the activities are success. It is nothing but all the operations are success. The particular transaction is success. If any activities fail here, the entire transactions are failed. And so the particular transaction is going to roll back here. So carefully observe. So how exactly this particular component is working here. Basically, what I want to provide here. So how many operations the transaction is involving here? All the all the operations are going to convert it into the single unit of work here. Right. And if all the activities are successful here, the transaction is going to success. But any activities fail here, the transaction is going to fail, and which is going to roll back the particular transaction here. So these are about the main component. So this is the purpose of this particular main component called atomic here. Okay, so we need to understand here another component called consistency. Another component called consistency here. So we need to focus on this particular consistency here. So how exactly the consistency is going to work internally. basically once this particular transaction ends, getting the point, once this particular transaction ends, whether it is a successful or not, the system where this state is available, basically before starting the transaction, where we are having the state of this particular application, so which is going to back to the same state of the application here. So observe carefully the simple understanding here for this particular consistency here. Now let's focus on the small application. So what internally we are having two applications. We are having two applications here. Now internally, so internally what I'm doing from application A, trying to connect to this particular application. From application A, I'm trying to connect it to the application B. Now what happening internally? So basically the problem here, using A application to B application here, if any exceptions occur, inside this particular B application here, but now what we need to do? So we need to back to the same state wherever we are, getting the point. So now we can observe here from this particular state we are trying to connect it to the B application here. But sometimes what happens here, whether we are having a successful or failure here, but we need to back to the same state of this particular application. Same state of this particular application is nothing but again we need to back to the same application here. So this is going to taken care by this particular consistent here. So this is also very important to component here, consistent here. Getting the point. So this particular consistent only, which is going to play important role whenever we are trying to communicate with the bank related, payment related applications here. Basically, whenever we are trying to work with any, like whenever we are trying to book any item using this particular e-commerce application, now internally what we are going to do, we are going to communicate with the payment gateway applications here. So to make the payment here, while making the payment here, if we get any exceptions or not, but now what happening is after making the payment, so directly we are backing into the e-commerce applications here. Getting the point. So this is going to taken care by this particular component called consistent here. Okay. Now, so we need to work with another component here. So that is called isolated. So this is also one more important component here, something called isolated. So what exactly this particular isolated is going to perform here? What exactly this particular isolated is going to perform? And here, basically, this particular component is going to give an option to work with multiple users on the same data. Getting the point. So basically, the transaction should allow the multiple users here. Getting the point. The particular transaction should allow the multiple users to work on the same data. Here. So, but here, if the multiple users are working with the same data, what happens internally? So we make a different data here because one user is trying to update the data, so which is trying to read the same data by the another user here. Getting the point. So carefully observe. For simple understanding here, we are having the simple databases, simple table. So this is the one table we are having, and inside this particular table, we are trying to perform the multiple users that are accessing the same table here. Now you can understand here. So one user, they are trying to read the data, so which is going to updated by 3 users. So carefully observe here, 3 users are updating the data, and one user is trying to get the data here. Now what happens here? So we cannot get the expected data here. Because multiple users, whenever the multiple users are working with the same data, so we are going to get different data here. But now, so we don't want to return the different data. So we want to provide the same data, whatever the each transaction is expecting here. Each user is expecting here, because the transactions is allows the multiple users to work on the same data here. So how exactly this particular isolated is going to work? So we'll see the programmatic and declarative manner here. But now understand here how exactly. So even though we're trying to work with multiple users here, so here each user is going to get the unique data here. Each user is going to get the unique data here. So that we can see. So in our upcoming classes, or maybe today or tomorrow, we are going to discuss it. Whenever we are trying to write a simple example here. But now we need to understand this. So this particular component is going to allow the multiple users to work on the same data. And back to here, the final component here, the final component, so durable. So how exactly this particular durable is going to work? Getting the point. And here we need to understand here, so this particular component here, so it's going to store the data permanently. Now basically, once this particular transaction has completed, whether it is a successful or failure here, now what happens internally, the result of the transaction is going to made permanently. Getting the point. So the result of this particular transaction, so which is going to made permanently. So sometimes what happens here, if the system is going to crash, what happens? So we cannot get the data here. So sometimes to resolve these kind of problems here, so this particular component here, once the transaction is completed, whether it is a successful or failure, with the reference of the success or failure reference information, the data is going to store into the database. So this is going to taken care by the last component, and the component we are going to call as a durable. Getting the point. So these are the very important component we are discussing here, and based on this particular core component here, the Spring transaction is going to work internally. Getting the point. Basically, the Spring is going to work with both here, programmatic transaction and declarative transaction here. So we'll try to focus on the programmatic and declarative transaction here. So to understand the programmatic transaction and declarative transaction, what we need to do? Basically, to work with any programmatic or declarative transaction, first we need to focus on the transaction manager. Getting the point. So we need to work on the transaction manager. So Spring does not directly manage the transaction. So now we need to understand very carefully here. So Spring is going to take the support of other technology to work on this particular transaction. Getting the point. So carefully observe here. So Spring is going to take the help of the transaction manager here. So what are the transaction manager we are having? So to work with the JDBC, we are going to have the different transaction manager, and if we work with the Hibernate, we are going to have the different transaction manager. With the help of this particular transaction manager, Spring transaction is going to work here. Now, so we need to understand here, whenever we are trying to work with so JDBC, like what exactly the transaction manager we are having here. So basically, whenever we are trying to work with JDBC, we are going to have so the different transaction manager, something called so data source transaction manager. Now you can understand here we are having here so data source transaction manager. So using this particular data source transaction manager, we can work with JDBC related application. But whenever we are trying to work with Hibernate here, now what we can do, so we are going to have So Hibernate Transaction Manager. So basically, we are trying to work with free version. So we need to focus on the Hibernate Transaction Manager also free. But you can see, so the package is available inside this Spring only, which is not coming from the Hibernate here. But only the advantage here, with the help of this particular transaction manager, so Spring is going to work with Spring transaction here. Now you can see the managers, transaction managers also implemented inside Spring only. So this also we need to carefully understand. Or Hibernate. Now, if I'm going to open this particular transaction manager, we need to focus on the resource transaction manager. So now you can see platform transaction manager. So this is an interface here. So this particular interface having methods information. So what are the methods this particular interface having? Now you can see get transaction is a one method, commit is another method, rollback is another method. So now platform transaction manager is a interface and Hibernate transaction manager is a implementation class. Same way, platform transaction manager is a interface and data source transaction manager is a implementation class. Now what you are understanding is platform transaction manager is a interface for all the transaction managers here. So using this particular interface here, so all the transaction managers are implemented here. And implemented is nothing but, so they implemented these three methods here. First one is the transaction, and the second one is the commit, and the third one is the rollback here. So observe carefully how exactly the particular Hibernate transaction manager is implemented. This particular commit and rollback here. So where is the commit method? We don't have any commit method inside this particular Hibernate transaction manager. Now, whether abstract platform transaction manager is implemented or not. Now you can see we are having the commit here. So here we are having the status here. If this particular status is completed, here, we are going to get an exception here. Transaction is already completed here, so do not call for commit here. Okay, and if the transaction is not yet completed here, now you can see with the help of this particular status, they are converting into default transaction status, and using the one more method is local rollback only, and after this they are trying to return the process rollback, and the process rollback here they are having process commit here. So we need to understand this particular internal style of this particular commit method. So they are taking the conditions here. So status is completed, or is local rollback only, or they are checking with the is debug, cutting the point. So is debug. If any condition is satisfied, they will roll back the transaction. Or if any condition is not satisfied, so they will call this particular process commit here. So internally, they are going to commit the particular information. Now you can see do commit method internally calling. With the help of this particular do commit here, the data is going to committed here. Now you can understand if anything got any exception, so transaction exception is going to handle here. So this is the way we can work with the Hibernate transaction manager is going to work. But how we are calling this particular Hibernate transaction manager? Because abstract platform manager is a abstract class here. Abstract platform manager is a one of abstract class we are having here. So which is going to extended by this particular Hibernate transaction manager. Now you can see if I am going to open so another one something called data source transaction manager, Hibernate transaction manager. Now you can understand here. Again we are going to work with abstract platform transaction manager. The particular abstract platform transaction manager only is implemented the commit and rollback method information. Getting the point. But here, now what we are doing here, with the help of this particular data source transaction manager, what we can do, we can work with the JDBC related information. So which is expecting constructor as a data source. So we are having one setter method data source here. So get data source after property set, resource and do get transaction. Using this particular do get transaction, we are going to call the get transaction method, which is coming from the abstract class here. So later we are going to work with different conditions here. Right. So these are the transaction manager we understood here. With the help of this particular transaction manager, we are going to work with a string transaction here. Okay. Now to work with the JDBC transaction here. To work with the JDBC transaction here, what we need to do? So now we need to understand here. So to work with the JDBC transaction here, what we implemented here, string hyphen JDBC here. Okay. Now we can see we're having the data source. But now, whenever we are trying to work with a transaction, like string JDBC transaction here, we need to work on the data source transaction manager. Right. To work on the data source transaction manager, bean ID, I want to provide transaction manager, and here we need to specify the class. So what is the class we are having? Something called so data source transaction manager. Data source transaction manager we need to specify, and with the reference of this particular package name. So what is Spring Framework JDBC data source. Here we need to specify ORG Spring Framework dot JDBC dot data source dot data source transaction manager. Finally, we identified it here. So which is expected property as well as constructor. Property as well as constructor here. Now I want to work with the property here. Property as well as constructor here. Because we are identified in the previous so now you can see this particular data source which is expecting the constructor and which is expecting the setter here. So that we can have an option here, either we can work with property or we can work with the constructor here. Now what I'm doing is I'm trying to work with the transaction manager. So this is the way we can enable this particular transaction. Right. So whenever we are trying to enable here, now what we can do? So we can work with the transaction commit and rollback here. Now I want to work with the Hibernate transaction manager. Getting this point. If I want to work with the Hibernate transaction manager, what we need to, because I didn't have the transaction manager, so to take care of the transaction and back to here the Hibernate transaction manager. So carefully observe, this is all about the Hibernate transaction manager. Now we need to check with the session factory and the data source. Now you can observe here we are having two properties. First one is the session factory and the second one is the data source. So how exactly these are going to work here? Okay. So bean factory. Now we can understand here. This is the default constructor. This is the parameters constructor which is expecting session factory as a parameter. Now you can see one more we are having setter method set session factory, set session factory, and get session factory. Let me see whether we are having the set data source or not. So still we are having set data source also. Right. So we are having two setter methods and two constructor injection here. Right. Now, so we can work with the Hibernate. We can work with the Hibernate here. So I want to work with the Hibernate here. Now what we can do? Bean ID. Here also I want to work with the transaction manager. And we want to work with the Hibernate transaction manager. To work with the Hibernate transaction manager, what we need to do? We need to work with the package name, class name with the package name here. So what is Spring Framework, Hibernate 3. So this is our package name. With the reference of this particular package name, we are going to call this particular Hibernate transaction manager. But now what I need to do, I want to call this particular property here. So we can work with the property. The name of the property we are having session factory. Reference here session factory. So we need to check whether we are having the same ID or not. So we need to copy this particular session factory and we need to specify the session factory here. So these are about the enabling this particular Hibernate transaction manager. Right. So with the help of this particular Hibernate transaction manager, now what we are going to do? Using this particular Hibernate transaction, we'll call the commit method on the transaction object. So similarly, if any fails here, so which is going to call the rollback here. Getting the point? Because Hibernate transaction manager is going to take care of the calling the commit and rollback method here. So explicitly, so we don't have a if we want to call explicitly, we can call, but otherwise default Hibernate transaction manager is going to call the commit and rollback here. Commit and rollback here. Okay. Now, if we want to work with programmatic transaction management, now what we need to do? Getting the point. So if we want to work with programmatic transaction, we need to work with the transaction template here. So we configure the Hibernate transaction manager, but now if I want to work with, because I explained here, so Spring is going to support the two transaction managers here. First one is a programmatic transaction and the second one is a declarative transaction. First we'll try to work with programmatic, later we can move on to the declarative transaction here. So to work with a programmatic transaction here, first what we need to do? So we need to work on the template here. Transaction template here. Now you can see we are having a transaction template here. Getting the point. So this particular transaction template, which is going to play very important role here. Using this particular transaction template here, we are going to work on the programmatic transaction here. Okay. Now let me enable this particular transaction template here. So what exactly this particular transaction template is going to work internally. Now you can see, so what happening internally? Platform transaction manager. So platform transaction manager is a interface. Whenever we are trying to specify here the appropriate transaction manager, so which is going to take care of here. So Hibernate transaction manager. Hibernate transaction manager is the implementation of platform transaction manager or not? So no, because of this, the transaction template internally using this particular interface here. Okay, now we understand here transaction here. But now you can see whenever we are trying to create this particular transaction template object here, internally what happening is we are calling, like we are passing this particular platform transaction manager. So this is the one more constructor. Now you can see set a transaction manager. We are having setter method also, right? So these are about the constructed and set it, and we'll call this particular execute here. Getting the point? So we'll call this particular execute method to work on the programmatic transaction here. We are going to call this particular execute here to work on the programmatic transaction. Okay, now, so we'll have a simple example on this particular programmatic here. So how exactly which is going to work. So to work with this particular transaction template, now what we need to do, let me go back to the Hibernate example, what we discussed in the previous classes. Okay, employer DAO, not DAO, will try to work on the service sciences. Here I want to work with the private transaction template. Here I want to work with the transaction template. Let me copy this particular transaction template with the reference of the T small. So using this particular transaction template here, so what we are going to do, we will call this particular execute here. With the help of this particular execute here, now what we are going to do, basically execute method which is expecting here, now we can see, so this particular execute which is expecting transaction callback. Getting the point. Basically transaction callback is a interface here. But now what we need to do, we need to create a object of this particular transaction callback here. So to create this particular transaction callback here, now what I'm doing is with the help of new transaction callback. Anything we missed here? Okay. Now we can see anonymous. Let me provide the method here. So now we need to understand here. So T is the T we need to specify employee. Type T is nothing but type here. We need to specify the what type of object we are going to perform. So now carefully observe here. Here I am calling employee. Here I am calling employee here. Internally, so we need to work with employee. Change the modify employee to final. Okay. So let me work with try here. Inside this particular try block, I want to call this section. Okay. Let me handle with here. I want to work with a runtime exception. Whenever we are getting exception, status dot set rollback only. Finally, EX. I'm trying to throw this particular EX information. What happened here? We are getting an employee object error here. Okay. So I want to make here final. Observe here, with the help of this transaction template, getting the point. with the help of this particular transaction template, now what we are doing is we are trying to work with a programmatic transaction. Right. Now, what I need to do, I want to save this particular employee here. So while saving here, if we get any exception, so we are trying to roll back the particular information. Okay. Back to here, go back to the main class. Now, I don't want to use this particular example, annotation example. I want to work with the application context here, file system XML application context here. Okay, back to here. So now let me run here. We don't want to load an object here. I want to comment out this particular object here. So I want to save an object. So here string transaction role. Transaction department and something called 47. Here, not HP, we can make here. So this is the employee ID. Cutting the point. Now, I want to run the same example. So let me see any exception we are going to get. If we miss anything, so definitely we are going to get an exception. But now, we need to try to resolve those exceptions here. Null pointer exception we are getting here. So line number 15. Line number 15, what happened inside this particular service IFS. Okay. So can you please let me know why we are getting this particular null pointer exception? So I identified why we are getting this particular null pointer exception. So just for understanding here, whether you are able to understanding or not, I want to confirm that why we are getting this particular null pointer exception here. Okay, if I want to open the class, I can open here. So now you can see employee service IML, save employee. So the method called save employee, line number 15. Now you can see the line number 15 we are getting a null pointer exception. So to resolve this particular null pointer exception, what we need to do? So where exactly we are getting this particular null pointer exception? No, you are not understanding. Basically, the transaction template we are getting null because we did not create an object here. The transaction template we did not create it here. So to create this particular transaction template, now what we need to do? Here, I want to specify one more thing. I want to specify transaction template. So what exactly the transaction template class will contain? The package here, so which is available inside this particular support, and the class we are having transaction template. Transaction template which is expecting the setter, so we can call this particular transaction manager. here I want to work with the property name transaction manager. We need to specify the transaction manager. But now I want to work with the employee service IMPL. Setter. I want to get a space. Go back where we are having particular template employee use. So name transaction template, reference also transaction template. So this is very important here. We need to provide transaction template here. Wherever we are trying to work with this particular transaction template, we need to provide. Now back to here. Again, I'm trying to run the same example. So we are getting an exception here. So why we are getting this section? So invalid property transaction template. Why this particular property is not writable? Implied use being property concept is not writable as it is not parameter. I think it is wrong. Go back to the service IMPL. Set transaction template. We provided same only. What happened here? Maybe. So here we made something wrong, I guess. Yes. The name of the property name we given wrong, I guess. So let me run one more time. Oh. Again we are getting same here. Employed year being transaction template is not applicable as symbol is the program getter is wrong. What happened internally? Get transaction template correct complete. Transaction template setter method we provided correct only. Okay, let me try with constructor. Why am this setter is giving an error? Using constructor. Let me try with constructor here. Constructor I changed today from the setter to constructor. We'll try to run one more time. Let's see. So setter is not able to understand it. Oh, no such method. Okay. We need to work with the default constructor. So we need to work with the default constructor, because whenever we are trying to provide the parameter constructor, we need to specify the default constructor as well. But still we are getting, oh, employee DO defined inside this particular configuration could not resolve the matching constructor. Hibernate configuration. It is giving. Okay. So basically, the error is related to this particular setter and constructor related error it is. Let me. What's happening internally? Okay. Let me change here. Sorry. I am changing the information DO class, but we need to change it. It is in the. Okay. Let me comment out this. Oh. I am working on the service class, but I changed in the DO class. Sorry, I did not check this information, but now transaction template. Okay, so these are the points I want to. Transaction template. Here we need to add. So I change the information to the employee DO. We don't want to change the employee DO. We need to add the transaction template in the service class, because we added into the service IMPL class. So I'm forget to previously added into the DO class. Let me go for this particular class, run the same example. What happened here? Transaction template. Contains empty references. Okay. Something we missed here. Okay. Ref we missed. Yes. Now you can see. So we insert the new record into this particular table. But here, what we need to understand very carefully, how we are going to work with this particular programmatic transaction is important. Getting the point. Now we can check with the database here. So select from airline dot employee. So we need to check with the transaction related information. So new record is inserted, transaction row and a transaction ID. Getting the point. So basically, previously I did small mistake here, but now the data is successfully inserted into the table here. With the help of this particular programmatic transaction, we insert the data. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to check with the declarative transaction. So how we can work with the declarative transaction? We are going to work on the tomorrow example. Once the declarative transaction is completed, we'll try to move on to the Spring MVC module. Okay, So if you are having any questions, we'll try to continue. So tomorrow, you can provide me your queries tomorrow. We'll try to resolve your queries. Okay. So we'll try to continue tomorrow.